my friends that came home last week, they refused to go to the hotel. They just drove home. So, but they haven't heard anything so far.
And if it was me, I do exactly the same thing, but I've got Sharon and she doesn't break any rules or regulations. She says we're staying.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sharon, I'm going to share my screen. Segue.
Nice segue.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Rotary Club of St. Albert morning Zoom meeting number 1503 on April 30th, 2021. I'm your host, President Mark Dixon, and I recognize executive members present, board members, Rotarians, and many special guests. Let us start our meeting with standing and singing "O Canada." Very impressive. And yes, that was Jerry Featherly singing "O Canada" in French. So nicely done, Jerry.
Oh, really?
Our land acknowledgement.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Merci beaucoup. We respectfully acknowledge that we are in Treaty 6 territory, traditional lands of First Nations and Métis peoples. As treaty people, Indigenous and non-Indigenous, we share the responsibility for the stewardship of this beautiful land. Our inspirational moment this morning is Mr. Fern Prue. Fern, if you wouldn't mind.
Well, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Oh, good. Good. So this week when I was driving around the city, I noticed that when you drive by the tourist center, they have all these beautiful plaques of different clubs that are up there just to tell folks when they come in that we have all these service clubs. And so I stopped and looked at them. There's about 15 or 20 of them. And there's also some that have been taken down. So I decided to do a little bit of research, and I talked to a few members of those different clubs that I know through the years. And when talking with them, they all seem to have the same problem. They need to increase their membership. They're all kind of slowly dying, and that's why some of those plaques are off of that at the tourist center. So the biggest concern they have is keeping members or getting new members. So then I kind of checked our club and looked at the roster, and I noticed that almost 30% of our membership right now has joined in the last 5 years. So that's quite a tribute to our club, and it's a testament of dare I say, our executive. I don't want to sound like an apple polisher, but I think we do a good job, and I think that we should be proud of it. So that's my inspirational moment.
Outstanding. I'm very inspired.
Good.
Thank you for that, Fern, and thank you for staying with us. We appreciate your membership.
Yes.
So now, the introduction of our guests. Ash, how about if we start with you, please?
Thank you, President Mark. It's my pleasure, Mark, to welcome Crimson Sumners, the superintendent of St. Albert Public Schools. And from Outreach High School, the principal of that is Denise Belly. And a fantastic teacher of the month is, oh no, I screwed that up. The principal is Erin Francis, and the teacher of the month is Denise Belly.
Thank you very much. Welcome, welcome.
Mark, he got that backwards. The principal is Denise Belly. The teacher of the month is Erin. You had it right the first time, my friend. You better get back to Canada and get some fresh air in your body.
He's just checking to see if we're paying attention. So you're sneaky, Ash. Other introductions?
Mark, I would like to introduce our presenter this morning, Heather Keam. She's from Tamarack Institute.
Thank you, Daria. Welcome, Heather.
And President Mark, I am excited to see my daughter Rebecca on the call here this morning.
Yay, Rebecca. Welcome. Others? Anyone with you, Andre, skulking in the background? No? Oh. Natalia has had troubles logging on this morning, so hopefully she will be able to join us soon. But in the meantime, and in between time, let's welcome their guests with the welcome song.
Welcome to Rotary, glad you are here. Come shake our hands and share a friendly cheer. Whether from near or whether from far, we're glad you're here. We hope that you will like our little song because we're proud of St. Albert, and you'll agree. Our club enjoys some great camaraderie, so we do what we can to help with the needs of our community with our friends at Rotary. With our friends at Rotary.
Love it. Do you feel appropriately welcomed now? I certainly do. Well, let's go straight into our Teacher of the Month. And Ash, if you wouldn't mind introducing the introducer, please.
President Mark, it's my pleasure to welcome, almost like the Teacher of the Month celebrity, Doug Webster.
Ash, you're the funniest guy. I guess we're going with Denise Belly is going to give a little chat about our Teacher of the Month. So take it away, Denise.
Thank you, Doug. I kind of liked it the other way around because this would mean now that that Erin would have to say something nice about me. I like that one way better. Erin, take it away. Just kidding. It really is a privilege and an honor to be here to talk about Erin Francis. Not only is she just an incredible teacher, she's also just an incredible human being. And on that note, I want to thank the Rotary again and Doug for your continued support in moving forward with Teacher of the Month. I think, especially in this year, our teachers are really our unsung heroes, and Erin is absolutely one of those human beings. So it's a real privilege to be here. Easy to talk about Erin. Some of the things that come to mind in terms of her gifts that stand out to me are those of community building, optimism, and creativity. Erin is incredible at building a sense of belonging and community. She demonstrates this trait time and time again with not only students, but staff. She's a true student community while teaching our online synchronous classes. She knows how to make connections, and she makes it look so easy and is extremely creative in developing these engaging attention grabbers at the beginning of each of her classes. I'm certain much of this natural ease with connection and teamness is an extension of her many years playing high-level professional hockey within Alberta and a valued defenseman. I'll forgive her for being a diehard Oilers fan. Her and I like to have a little bit of a conflict, my support for the Montreal Canadiens, we have this little rivalry. So I'll forgive you for that one, Erin. Viva les habitants is all I'm going to say. Getting back to teaching, Erin has been instrumental in creating connection. And and cohesiveness with kids of all learning abilities and interests. For instance, this year when Outreach agreed to create a synchronous online class for our K&E or our knowledge and employability students, Erin eagerly jumped on board on our Meet the Teacher. We did home visits, which included socially distanced one-on-one lawn chair on the front lawn meetings, and to build these relationships while still following all the COVID restriction models. Creating this connection with these reluctant learners who are often working off campus adds an interesting level of complexity to an already strenuous role. Because of this strong connection, students regularly attend Erin's classes. They rarely miss an opportunity to learn from her. And furthermore, her classes are highly subscribed to, largely due to her excellent pedagogy and her ability to relate and connect with her students. She is definitely a fan favorite. With our staff, Erin has been a bright light, especially during this roller coaster year of darkness and light, restrictions, no restrictions, online, in isolation, in class. As a key member of our wellness committee, Erin created several staff activities to boost staff morale and to bring joy and laughter to our school. These activities included staff warm-up exercises before staff meetings, the 12 days of fitness, you guessed it, fitness activities, complete with scorecards and stickers. Yay, go Erin. The Random Acts of Kindness bingo cards in February, and our most recent activity, the Spring Secret Sprite event. This latest event includes staff providing small secret treats to each other anonymously, like a little secret Santa. These occasions had and continue to bring a positive impact on our teamness and our own personal well-being. Erin is an incredibly positive role model for our students and staff. Her calm and confident and consistent demeanor creates an atmosphere of strength and assurance. I know that when a student or parent is in need of help or support, they are in, capital letters, very capable hands with Erin. And if the school needs a lead teacher to hold down the fort or to take on a new initiative, Erin is always a reliable and more than capable resource. And despite the fact that we have a small staff here at Outreach, Erin would stand out if she was on a staff of 100. She truly is a gift to our school. I have witnessed Erin in action, working one-on-one with students, teaching her synchronous classes, coaching our staff during school-based professional development, or leading an after-school activity. Her enthusiasm for learning and teaching is absolutely contagious, and it's a one good contagious we need right now. And given this crazy COVID year, this attribute is most welcoming. It is for this that I am extremely honored to, and Erin is most deserving of this Teacher of the Month recognition. Way to go, Erin.
Erin, would you like to say a few words?
Not really, no. Put me in front of 600 kids, I'm good. Put in front of adults, no. First of all, thank you so much for the kind words, Denise. Oh my gosh, that's a great way to start the Friday. Thank you, Rotarians, for this opportunity. This is a wonderful thing that you guys do. I just want to say how fortunate I am to be employed by St. Albert Public Schools. The stars definitely aligned in 2018 when my family, we moved from Athabasca, and wasn't sure if there was a job in store for me, and this position opened up, and it has actually been pretty perfect. I work with a wonderful staff. Denise is an incredible boss, and yeah, it's so nice to work under her guidance. Proud to be a member of St. Albert Outreach High School, and again, I just want to thank you guys so much.
Well, you're very welcome. And I would now like to hand it over to Mr. Doug Webster.
Hey there, Erin. Congratulations. You know, I get so excited when we do these Teachers of the Month, and I'm sorry we can't be there in person to do the usual dog and pony show, but hey, we're going to do our best. Every time we do these, I like to Google the individual that's winning. And when I was looking at that, and I saw that you are a member of the Hockey Hall of Fame of Alberta, And I was just thrilled that we were going to honor somebody that has such deep roots in the community, not only from the school, but of course in sports, which transcend into each other all the time. It's just amazing to see. And listening to Denise's comments, you know, unsung hero, community builder, optimist, making learning easy, creative, positive role model. It's just amazing to see what you give back. And I have the pleasure of working with so many folks in the public school board and at outreach. I just think it's fantastic when we get to celebrate someone like yourself. So congratulations from, of course, the Gazette, who is one of our sponsors, the Rotary Club, and all as well, your favorite supply retailer, Staples St. Albert. Now, Denise, you have some stuff there in a bag, I think. Do you have that handy?
I have the certificate here.
Yeah, let's look at that certificate that we have for you.
Beautifully done. And I trusted Erin. I said to her, we knew that we were going to be in separate spaces. So I did trust her and said, here's the bag. See, here again, I totally trustworthy. I said, you can't peek. It's like Christmas. Don't open it beforehand. So I gave her the bag and I said, you can only open it Friday morning. And I know I can trust Erin with that. So she has all the goodie bags, Doug.
Okay, so thank you, Denise. So why don't you open up that bag, Denise, and we'll get rid of the suspense for you here. Let's have a look at what's inside that bag. So just pull out some of the swag that you might find in there. What is that?
I'll unmute because I might be really excited about this. Okay, a couple of journals.
Some journals.
From Staples.
Excellent. Excellent. And
a plastic mug. I'm guessing there's a straw in there.
Yeah, there's a straw somewhere.
Oh, a wireless speaker.
Well, look at that. Now that's the first. You're the first teacher to get one of those. So congratulations. A big coffee mug, so you can nice sit around and on a Friday afternoon after work and put something special in there. And bag. Now, Denise, get in there. There's a white envelope in there somewhere. Can you find that one for me? Okay. Now rip that bad boy open like Karnak and have a look inside. And what do we got there?
Oh, a Staples. Oh my gosh. Staples gift card for $100.
Woohoo! Now,
very nice.
Yay.
And then there's pens and pencils and a stapler. So wow, thank you guys so much.
Stapler from Staples. Say, Denise, I want to congratulate you again on behalf of course, the Gazette, the club, and Staples. And it's so exciting to have folks like you teaching our children, and they're in good hands because of folks like you. So ladies and gentlemen, what is it now? It's April 2021 Teacher of the Month, Hall of Famer in schools and in sports, Erin Francis. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. And hi, Jody. I didn't see you on here, but Jody Swanson, hi.
Congratulations, Erin. Thank you again for all of your great work. We appreciate what you do and all of your colleagues. Right into our guest speaker. Daria, if you wouldn't mind doing the introductions, please.
For sure. So Heather has been at the Tamarack Institute for over 6 years and is now the team lead for City's Deepening Community. She has 19 years of experience generating action at a grassroots level. Heather loves guiding groups through planning, engagement, implementation, and sustainability of local community efforts using an asset-based community development approach. She is a lifelong learner and has attended Brock University, Caribera University in Australia, Canadore College, and Guelph University to deepen her understanding of community development. Heather is very active in her community as a scout leader, baseball coach, parish council member, and is the current president of her local Optimist Club. Today, Heather will be talking about how service clubs can deepen community. And we had a bit of a technical challenges earlier. So Heather, can you?
Hello?
There you go. I think we can hear you.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Our conversation before was trying to find out, what is Ontario like in COVID? Well, Ontario doesn't let us speak.
There you go. Okay, well, I'm glad that your mic is working now. So welcome, and I'll pass it over to you now.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. That's okay.
Absolutely.
There we go. Can everybody see that?
We can.
Can. Okay, so thank you. I actually think Erin could probably do this this presentation. Everything that she does in her community is what I'm going to be talking about. So Erin, jump in anytime. I feel like you're more of an expert than I am. So I just wanted to let you know about Tamarack Institute and who we are and what we do. We are across Canada, and we have quite a few people in the US and around the world that have joined our learning. And we're an institute that develop and support collaborative strategies to engage citizens and institutions to solve major community issues. Our belief is that when we're effective in strengthening community capacity to engage citizens, lead collaboratively, and deepen community, reduce poverty, our work contributes to building the peace and a more equitable society. Tamarack's work is comprised of two areas. One is the Learning Center, and the Learning Center is coaching and events and theory and learning, webinars, all that, the latest thinking in community work. And then we have cities, vibrant communities. And in vibrant communities, we have three practice areas. And what we do is we take the Learning Center theory and we really try to apply it at the local level. Because theory is great at a theory level, but if you don't know how to do it at the community level, then it just sits on a shelf. And so what we were doing is we were truly trying to take and put it into practice. I am the team lead for the city's deepening community area, which is really new. We just dove into it about 6 years ago. And we started off with just really trying to build a momentum about the importance of community, about the importance of knowing your neighbors. And we have built in the past 5 years, a network of 8,000 across Canada and the US and around the world who are all really wanting to help us turn our momentum into a movement. And so we're now seeing a pivotal moment in that we see a movement happening across Canada where organizations and institutions and government are seeing the importance of community. We do webinars, we have community of practices, and just recently, two years ago in June, launched a membership. And I'm very happy to say that St. Albert, the city, is a member, and they're working on deepening community. I don't know if you know Angie Diedrich, but I love her, and she's an amazing community developer, and she's doing some fantastic work in St. Albert. So I wanted to talk about the trends in the community. So in order to understand community and where you need to go, we have to understand that there has been a lot of changes that have happened over the 50 years in community. There is a change in family and social structures. So families are a lot smaller. They're more spread out. And there is an increase in divorce rates, single parents, which cause weaker networks. So when you're spread out more and you're a single mom or dad and you're trying to juggle life and work, your networks tend to be a little bit more weaker. Time and work pressures, there's been a shift in the workforce. It's two-income families now. There's a lot more contract work than there are full-time work. There are part-time jobs, less stability, especially during COVID. The demands can lead to a decrease in involvement in all forms of social and community life. It costs more to be socially connected. The cost of social activities have become expensive and less accessible. It really is cheaper to stay home. I remember going, Mom, I want to take you out to the movies and to dinner. And I said, I didn't want to buy the movie theater. I could not believe the cost to go to the movies. People tend to spend more times in their cars. So if you look at the way we develop our communities, it's called urban sprawl. We are wanting bigger backyards, bigger homes, which means we're more sprawled out. You got the big box stores, which are more on the outside of town. And so you really have to drive to where you need to go, which means you're spending more time in your car. Technology, TV, smartphones, computers, and I added this Xbox because that's the fight I'm having right now with my 3 boys. But before technology, it was really popular for people to get together, to go out, to socialize, get a group together to go to the movies, get a group together to do game night. But with technology, you don't have to do any of that. You can do it right from the comfort of your couch. You can watch a movie, stream a movie from the comfort of your couch. My kids don't have to see any of their friends because they just do it via Xbox. Decrease in resident involvement in communities. So volunteerism has gone down. A lot of clubs, a lot of organizations, a lot of churches are seeing this, that the volunteering, the people who are wanting to do the work in the community is decreasing. And voting rates have decreased over the last 50 years, which really shows that our involvement in civic life has gone down. There was a study done by Vancouver Foundation in 2011, and when they asked leaders what was the important issues facing their regions, it was the decrease in residents' participation in community and the lack of connection to community. And lastly, increase in loneliness and social isolation. So this was actually on the rise before COVID, and COVID has actually made this even worse. In a study by Angus Reid, 34% of Canadians feel connected to their neighbors. 50% of people do not know their neighbor's name. So they know and they can recognize that this person is my neighbor, but they don't know their name. And recently, a study has shown that social isolation has impacts on our health equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. So there's some big health issues, and we have to understand the changes in community if we want to change and think about the way we are in community. So I got a new idea. So this asset-based community development. So a lot of the times we look at our communities as deficits and needs. What is wrong with our community? What does our community need? And that's the glass half empty. What if we looked at the glass half full? What if we looked at our communities has assets and capacities, and how do we harness those and bring those together to make change? The big concept is doing, we traditionally do for community. So we're gonna do a program for you. We're gonna change the way things working, and you just sit there and change will happen. What we wanna do is change that to doing with the community. So working with the community to find out how can we change together instead of a group will do the change for you. Asset-based community development looks for and starts with people's gifts and strengths, the assets, the individual. So we start at the individual. These assets equip people to create local opportunities and respond to the need and challenges in their neighbors, in their neighborhoods. Asset-based community development, or known as ABCD, goes beyond any individual gift or particular group strengths to consider how they can come together, and create a broader change for the common good within the community. So this is a picture, an example of how we traditionally, and I'm saying we because before coming to Tamarack, I was in public health. We did a deficit map. So when we would go into a community, we would look at, okay, what is wrong with this community? Oh, it's got high unemployment. There's some slum housing, there's poverty, there's, dropouts, there's poisoning, there's, physically inactive. And when you look at this map, where do you start? How do you even begin to help this community? So asset-based community development asks us to look at it this way. So what is strong? So what does our community have that's amazing? And how can we link these amazing things that are happening in our community together? How can we work together? How can we build off of what's amazing so that we could help what is not going right? So we start off with what is strong in our community to help with what is wrong in our community. So how do we do this? There are 6 assets in our community. So this research was done by John McKnight and Jody Kretzman, who are the founders of Asset-Based Community Development. And they searched over 300 stories, and they tried to look at what were the common themes of these stories. So these common themes are contributions of residents, local places, exchange, stories, culture, history, institutions, and a social life. But I first want to address what's on the picture here. So asset-based community development starts with the individual in the middle. So every single one of you on this call, all 40 of you, have gifts and assets to contribute. Whether it's I like crocheting and I can do blankets, to I love gardening and I can garden for somebody, but I like walking my dog. And then that individual with gifts are connected to those circles around to all the dog walkers. So you connect the individuals, and next thing you know, you form a dog walker group. And then the triangles on the outside are not-for-profits, NFP, and groups like yourself. And then how do they support the groups in the middle and the individuals to come together? And then you've got your not-for-profits, your governments, and your for-profits on the outside, supporting what's happening on the inside, where traditionally those folks, the government and for-profit, are in the inside and everybody else is on the outside. So it's reversing the way we think. So contributions of residents, I just said, it's the local gifts and assets, and it's bringing those together and listening to what's happening in the community and how can we bring those residents together. Local places is the land, the value of neighborhoods, the land, the trees, the parks, the climate, and the climate meaning that, you know, it would be awesome if I could garden all year long. So that's what that means by climate. The third asset is exchanges. And these exchanges happen when you get to know individuals in the community. And this is going back to the whole bartering, exchanges of gifts. There's exchanges of intangible gifts, there's exchanges of tangible gifts, and there's use of alternative currencies, which would be, I make a lot of bread, you make a lot of jam, let's do some swap, and we both have jam and bread. And then the fourth one is money. And then culture. Stories and culture are really important. And I got to know this when I joined the Optimist, is to understand how the Optimist has functioned and the stories and the history of how it formed, how they became to today, because that helps shape us for the future. And so stories and cultures, elders, your grandparents, you know, all of those stories about how it was really need to be brought in to our planning in terms of going forward in community. Institutions are, those are our education system, municipal government, all of the bigger organizations, and they are really important to fulfill the stuff that we can't do as individuals and associations, and that they have the capacity to do. So they're really important in community, but they're not important to be doing the for us. They're important to be doing with us. And then the associational life. And this is really important because this is Rotary, this is Optimist. These are all the clubs and associations that are in our communities. And they are unpaid citizens who come together to create a vision and implement the actions that are required. They can be formal, like Chamber of Commerce, or they can be informal, like a book club or a wine and book club. So these are the assets in our community. And as we're going through this, think about St. Albert and think about how do these all come together. I like to think of it as a 3-lane highway. So what I have been seeing is that what happens is we have a lane for governments, we have a lane for local organization and institutions, and we have a lane for association and residents. And what has been happening is that the government and local organization and institutions, they take over all the lanes, which then backs up the groups and association and residents that can't do what they should be doing in community. So if we could think of community as a 3-lane highway, and we all have a lane, and we all understand our roles, that lane would flow, and amazing things could happen. There are times where we should be putting our indicator on and going in, merging into the next lane. So we should be merging with organizations and institutions or vice versa, but we need to know when to leave that lane. So that is the key thing that's not happening, is that we stay in other people's lanes, and then we muddy it all up and we back it all up, and things can't get done. So we need to create this flow. We need to understand the roles that we all play in community to be able to make our community the best place to live. The other way to think about it is the 2-4 by width. So the 2 is really the traditional medical model. So we know what is wrong and we're going to fix it. The 4 is, don't worry, we'll fix a problem for you. So you just sit there, we'll fix it for you. The width is, you know what, we have a problem, but we know we want to talk to you about it. So you talk to them about it, but then you fix the problem. And then the by is, you know what, we've got a problem. We want to hear from you. And then how are you going to contribute to this problem? Who needs to be involved in this problem? And that is by us, for us. And that's the asset-based community development way. So I think about it. Think about your club. Think about where you are in community. And are you in the 2 and the 4? Or are you in the with and the by? And then where would you like to be? So what does this mean for service clubs? So as I said, I'm a member of our local Optimist Club. And the reason I joined wasn't for anything that was on their mandate or anything really about the club. I was new to this community. I had no idea how to fit in. So I joined this club for relationships and to build relationships. And to feel part of my community. So I came, I brought new ideas. I had lots of gifts to offer to the club. But I was told, this is the way we always do it. This is how it's done. And so I really felt like I was part of a community, but I really wasn't part of a community. And so COVID has actually forced our club to rethink, how are we functioning as a community within our club, but how are we functioning as a community and our outreach out into the community? And so I want you to think about the first few slides, especially the trends as I go forward. Because I went to the Rotary International and I pulled this. And the clubs like Rotary are very important in community. When residents get together, citizens get together. And what I love about Rotary and Optimist is that you have this foundation and you are able to take this foundation and localize it to your local community. It's really hard to start an association or group without having this backing of international and all these resources. And so when you're pulling groups together, you have 3 powers. You have the power to decide on a common way of working, a common problem that you want to work in the community. You have to share, developing a plan together and making action and implementing that plan and then making the community better. So when you pull people together and you work as a group, you have 3 powers, which are very amazing, awesome powers if they're done right. So I wanted to talk about, when I say if done right, this is an eco cycle of community development. And I just did a lot of research on groups. and how groups function, and the different ways and traps that groups get into. And so looks complicated, but it's actually very simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with COVID. It says crisis. Okay. So you've got an existing group. You're in a COVID hit. We're in a crisis. What's happening to most organizations and groups is you unravel. It's chaos. You don't know what to do. You shut down. No meetings. We don't know what to do. This is a great opportunity for clubs right now to go up into the exploration part, to explore how have we been working? Has it been working? What are new things we can do? What are new ideas out there? How do we embrace, and you guys have done it really well, technology? How do we keep going virtually? And then you start thinking about all these new ideas. And this is innovation. This is where when I came into the club, would have loved to have happened. And I could, a think tank, and we can come up with all these great ideas. And then you move to choice. Okay, based on our capacity, what of these great ideas can we do? So then you bring them down in, you decide a little bit more, you adapt, you refine, you go up to maturity, and then you implement all of your programs. What happens is we stay in the maturity. We don't go through this cycle. We don't look at. So in my 6 years at the Optimist Club, we have been doing the same programs over and over and over and over and over. And I ask, how do we know we're better off? How do we know these are working? Oh, well, we had 50 people show up. And I'm like, was anyone better off? What happened with those 50 people? Did they enjoy it? Do we keep going? What about shifting to this new idea? So this is an eco cycle of how you can shift the way you work, being able to bring new ideas in, being able to evaluate and seeing what's working and what's not working. So one thing you could do is asset mapping. So as a club, so actually I'm going to backtrack. So through this eco cycle, what our club realized is, you know what, we don't have a lot of volunteers. We're a small town, 1,200 people. And we have Alliance, and we have other groups and organizations. And what we decided to do was this asset mapping to find out who is in our community, what is amazing happening. And we actually are now starting to partner. We're not doing things independently anymore. We're seeing how we can partner up and do things bigger and better, but reduce the noise of multiple things happening in our community, but we are able to work together. So this asset mapping is a really great exercise to do. You go and you talk about who are the individuals and what gifts and assets. We're going to be doing this in our club, asking everybody in our club, what gifts and assets that you have that you can contribute to our club and contribute to your community. But one question we're going to be asking is, what do you need to get from being in our club? And that is, how can our club help you be the best person? So we're going to be asking these two questions. And then we have mapped out our associations, all the institutions and organizations that service us, etc. And so I took this and I attempted to do it for St. Albert. I went online. I found 44 associations from a list in 2015, probably old. I'm assuming there's going to be more. And of those 44, there were 5 or associations and groups that service youth. There were 4 that service seniors. There were 3 that did women, 3 that were more international. There were 3 that were conservation gardening. There were 7 that just did community at large. There were 7 that did music and arts. And there were 7 that were strictly more fundraising. But we all know that most of us do fundraising. And so this map here is how I would have mapped out all of these organizations. And so here's your community, here's all the things that are happening, here are all the organizations that are doing within there. And I'll send these tools over to you. But this is a great way to see how can we partner up with what's already happening out there, and how can we share the volunteers and the workload so that things can still happen. And this also brings out innovation. And the last slide I have here, I put this in here because I think this is my biggest pet peeve, is we, as a club, we are youth, children and youth. We do not have a single child or youth voice in our club. So we determine what we're going to do in our community for children and youth. And then we have to go and we have to sell it. And we have to almost beg people to partake in our programs. This pet peeve is mostly from public health days, because we just went in and we did for the community, and then I had to go and I had to try to sell it. And so levels of engagement is that there's informing, consult, involve, collaborate, and empower. And if you just inform and consult, you're in the buy-in phase. When you do your programming, you're going to have to go out there and you're going to have to really work hard in getting people there. But if you work at the involve, collaborate, and empower is really pretty much what the asset-based community development is. Everybody owns it, and everybody will promote it, and everybody will be part of it. And so I want to leave you with this piece, if anything, is think about how you are involving the community in your decision-making, in your programs. And are you just informing them and then you're doing for, or are you empowering? And wherever you were on this spectrum here, where do you want to be? I'll send these slides and I'll send resources and tools. And that's all I have.
Awesome. Thank you, Heather.
Questions for Heather? Thank you very much, Heather.
You're welcome. It was a lot.
It was great. We have an insatiable group, hungry for information.
I didn't get, if there's stuff in chat box, I didn't get it. Read it.
Anne made a comment about asset mapping and the GLAM sector, galleries, libraries, archives, and museums. And she felt it was left out of your analysis.
Oh, the picture there, like the picture, that is just from a book, kind of ways you can map it out. So I was showing you different ways to map it out. The list from 2015 wasn't comprehensive. I think it was a service provider who put it all together. You know your community, so you would be mapping all of this out. And I really do. Libraries and museums are really important. Yes.
Thank you for that. Other questions for Heather? Andre.
Heather, a few years ago, the city of St. Albert had a number of organizations like Rotary, like-minded like Rotary, kind of meet to get together to see about a collaboration effort of some sort. And I think we had 2 or 3 meetings, and you know, there was some good initial headway kind of met, but these things stall out. So what do you say about how do you keep these things moving in the right direction?
So I call it a backbone. There needs to be one organization who's willing to drive it and lead it forward until it gets to the point where it could function on its own. When it's just a bunch coming together and it's more of a think tank, if nobody takes on the next step, the next role, then it will peter out. I think try to bring that back and get talking about it. A lot of the issues happen is turf and trust. So you're going to take away from my participants or my funding opportunities. And so a really good opportunity is to call that out, to understand the turf that people are working. That's where the asset mapping happens, is where are they working? So you don't step on each other's toes, but where is there a gap that you can come together to work together that it's not going to take away from everybody's mandates? mostly it's mostly around funding and volunteers, right? But there has to be some lead in the beginning to lead it. Not saying that it have to stay being the lead, but if there's nobody driving it, it will not sustain.
Thank you, Doug Campbell. I see you nodding your head through this, and I know you were with those discussions with me. So maybe we need to revisit that again.
Mm-hmm. And there's some tools. So I'll send some tools, like the mapping thing is a really great idea. If you can get together, post-it notes are my favorite thing, and a big wall, and you just map everything out and what the targets, who are they all working with? Is it seniors? Is it youth? Because then you'll find an area where nobody's addressing, right? So you just got to map it all out, step back, take a look, and then see where some synergies can happen.
Thank you. Charlie, you have your hand up?
Yes, I think the St. Albert Community Village and Food Bank is a good example of a collaborative organization. People come into our organization, they're interviewed by a social worker and that, and depending on the kinds of problems they have, they're referred to up to one of maybe 30 different organizations in St. Albert and that. And it also goes both ways, because we have a food drive tomorrow, and a number of the service clubs are involved in helping us in this particular project and that. Thank you.
Just back to the pulling together of the service clubs. Coincidentally, last night, there was a meeting initiated by the city, bringing together the service clubs to talk to a different topic, but that might be a point where we can reinitiate that discussion across the service clubs. Unfortunately, there wasn't a large attendance from the clubs that were invited, but that might trigger further meetings. So I'm certainly encouraged by that.
We have a saying: you start with who shows, and don't worry about who doesn't show.
I like that.
I have an example. So about partnering. This past because of COVID, we partnered with a local church. We partnered with a local newspaper. We partnered with 3 businesses, and we partnered with the food bank to do a Tree of Hope. And it was the first time our club actually partnered with more than one other partner. And if we had done it by ourselves, I don't think it would have been as successful as it was. And it was a tree in the middle of town. And we had a banner, and it was just of hope. It was just, and actually it was undecorated, and we encouraged the community to decorate it. And then the food bank is, we had so many people in need that we had Christmas trees in all the businesses and they actually purchased gifts. So we had a food hamper, but we also had gifts for under the tree. And the trees were bare. Like nobody in our little town, Burford, went hungry and something under the table or under the tree. Even the seniors, we did crock pots. We had a whole whack of crock pots donated to the food bank. And so everybody got a gift on Christmas Day. Could not have pulled that off by ourselves as a club.
Thank you for that. We have one last question for Heather. Got a good discussion going in the chat. That's good. Well, if that is that, then Heather, thank you so much for your presentation this morning and for generating this conversation. I'm feeling like we've got some motivation to take on some next steps. So in appreciation and recognition for your contribution this morning, the St. Albert Rotary Club will be making a donation in your name to the Rotary International Polio Plus program, a worldwide program focused on polio eradication. And we will send this certificate to you after this meeting.
All right, well, reach out. If you need any supports or any tools or ideas, I'm here.
Thank you. We will do that.
I do have to jump off. I have another meeting.
Yeah. Thanks, Heather.
Okay.
All right, thanks everybody.
Thank you. Reports and announcements. We have a bunch this morning. We had our club assembly on the 22nd, and I think that went really quite well. Got some good feedback on that. Music festival happened encore just yesterday, and the recording of that is posted online. Ian, any comments on that? Mark?
Absolutely, yeah. So I can't see if Mark is here because I'm not on my normal computer, but Mark and the team did a phenomenal job. So Encore is done and it's out there for you to view. There's a link that we will send out to the entire club, but it is on Facebook and a few spots like that. So we will send that out. Mark really did an awesome job. I think that he can now sleep. So bravo, Mark and team. Yeah, I think it was I think the whole thing went well. So bravo, team.
Well done, team. Congratulations. We have a board meeting coming up on May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. So if you're interested in contributing anything to the discussion or showing up just to see the board level banter, please don't hesitate. Flag program, we have some new flags in the works, and we have a cleanup bee happening on May the 8th. Robert is reaching out on that, and Laszlo has some exciting news about where we're at with our sales.
Wow, yes, we're sitting at 417 flags right now. That's 60 more than a few days ago from the cards that we sent out. So start publishing your stuff on social media, please, and start selling flags.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Laszlo. Yes, we have social media posts coming out on our 4 platforms. So when you see those, please like and share with your networks. Fireside chat, May 26th at noon. Craig.
Yeah, so I'll speak to this briefly. So it's another initiative of the membership committee. If you'll recall, Stacy led one of these on Rotary Day on the 23rd of February. It was an evening one, and it's basically it's a call for Rotarians to just reach out. You have someone who may be interested or wants to check the club out. It's going to be another Zoom type forum. And it'll be kind of the same way. What's different this time is we're doing it at a different time of day, so a little bit different dynamic. So again, if you can please invite some friends and prospective Rotarians out for it, and check it out. It's the same timeline's going to be the same, 30 to 40 minutes. So check us out while you're having your noon sandwich. Cheers.
Thank you for that, Craig. Sounds like a great initiative. Looking forward to it. Vocations Descriptions. Daria, do you want to speak to this one? Surprise.
Sure, but you can probably add a little bit more. But I think the board was talking about having an up-to-date description of members' vacations, and really the idea was just to be able to share, so that if we're looking for somebody to do some work or help with certain things, we know who is in our club. And listening to our presenter this morning, I think it kind of fits with understanding your club and where the strengths are and what people bring to the table. So even goes along those lines. So I think we have 25 people that responded to date. I'm missing quite a few. So please send, it doesn't have to be anything super long, one paragraph, just saying what your title is or the organization that you work for and what do you do. And that's all. So just 3-4 sentences. Today is a deadline, but we'll give you a bit more time, but please, we should be able to get this information from our club pretty quick. It's not something that people have to come up with out of the blue. Is that good, Mark?
Yeah, that's great. This opportunity came up as we were having some board discussions about some of the initiatives that we were looking at, things that we were going to invest in, to purchase, and we weren't aware of members being able to offer some services and products. So we wanted to try and clear that up as much as possible, and this is an effort in that direction. So that's what that is. So thank you for leading that, Daria.
No problem.
Other announcements, James, you wanted to speak to Capital Region Integrity Awards?
Thank you, President Mark. Good morning, all my fellow Rotarians. Good to be alive. Good day today. I would like to remind you that we nominated John Liston for the Capital Region Integrity Awards. That is happening May 17th. That's a Monday. I will send you all out a link to register in advance for that Zoom link. I think it starts at 6:30. There's a meal package. The Sawmill has a catering package, cook at your home, $50, all inclusive with wine. Seems like a good deal, seems like a good time. There's 16 recipients of the Integrity Awards, some real class people right across the board. So that's May 17th, and we nominated John Liston. And as you know, we also know he was the winner of our Community Paul Harris Fellowship Award as well last week. And Mr. John Liston is speaking next week for advocating for Alberta's future. He's the CEO of the Alberta Enterprise Group, well-connected individual, just really a good heart and does a lot for the community and just has a great attitude. So it was a pleasure getting to know him, and he's speaking next week. That's all I got. One quick question, whoever can answer this. We had a meeting a while back. I think it was Pat Steffes that talked about the goldfish story, and there was a recommendation about a Netflix show. Does anyone remember that? I wanted to watch that Netflix show quickly. Pat, are you there? Anyone, do you remember? Can anyone help me out?
Ted Lasso.
What was it?
Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. Okay, thank you.
Super funny.
Is it? Okay, I'm gonna check it out. Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you for that, James. Nice to see that your brace is off, at least for the meeting. That's great.
Look at, I can move. Yeah, it's good. Good.
Glad the meds are working for you.
No meds. I'm clean, man. I'm right, straight off of everything, just high on life.
Excellent. So glad to hear that. Crystal, did you want to speak to the spring food drive at all? Charlie mentioned it, but any other details you'd like to share?
Yeah, sure. So we are setting bins up at 6 grocery stores tomorrow and Red Willow Church. This is a great opportunity. All the service clubs, well, there's 4 service clubs in St. Albert that are going to be stationed at each of the grocery stores, including 4 members of the Rotary, and the Rotaract is also helping, which I'm really excited about. And Mayor Kathy Heron and John are also going to be participating in that, so that will be fun. And I will send an email out to the people that are volunteering tomorrow, just to let you know about what to expect when you're at the grocery store. So expect that from me later today.
Wonderful.
Should be good weather tomorrow.
Thank you, Crystal. Great initiative. Thank you for reaching out to the club. Speaking of Rotaract, Laura, any updates from you?
Nope.
Cool. Rebecca, you're here. Anything Interact you'd like to share?
Not really. We had our first meeting about a week and a half ago, and it went really, really well. We have another one on May the 4th, but I know we have the board meeting as well. So if you guys can't make it, that's fine. I can send out the link if anyone wants to join us. We're really just doing fundraising ideas. We're just trying to get started. Not much happening, but I'll keep you guys updated.
Wonderful. Thank you, Rebecca. And thank you again for driving that. It's going to be an amazing clip. Andre, you have a hand up.
Yeah, here's what I know. I know that many of you, like Emery, have probably just been sitting in your house watching Bridgerton the whole time through COVID. So I would basically suggest that on June 5th, you have an opportunity to get out and have some fun in Safe's Car Rally. It's $50 a car, and it's going to take place from about Saturday from 1 to 4. So if you've been in your house watching Netflix, here's your chance to get out and actually see, at least, I would say see the world, but at least see St. Albert. And help, please support us. We can use a few more cars. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Andre. Jennifer, you have your hand up?
Yes, good morning. A couple things. One is the mayor's luncheon is coming up on May 14th. This is a tradition. It's the 8th annual Business Resiliency through Community and Inclusion. So I know Mayor Herron would like to see as many Rotarians out there as possible. It's a great luncheon in partnership with the Gateway Association. And also this weekend is the first annual Hike or Bike for Hospice, the St. Albert Sturgeon Hospice Association. We're doing a fundraiser and a friend raiser. So come out and hike or bike and take pictures. And if you don't want to do it, I'm actually doing it, so you can support me if you'd like to. So thank you.
Thank you, Jennifer. Hike or Bike for Hospice and Safe Car Rally and Food Bank Drive. Man, we are active. Next morning meeting, as James mentioned, May the 7th, John Liston, who is president of Alberta Enterprise Group, advocating for Alberta's future. And as if you don't have a packed calendar as it is, June 12th to 16th is the Rotary International Virtual Convention. Check it out. Now, I believe that, Rebecca, you said that you have Natalia on FaceTime on your phone as you're on Zoom on this call. I wonder if she'd be able to do birthdays and anniversaries for us.
I think she could. I'll just turn up the volume here so you can hear her, and I'll turn it around. Can you guys see everything all right?
We can.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay, sorry for that delay. I have troubles with my iPad. I have to, because I don't have ID with my music tuner or something, or iTuner. I don't have the thing. So I just want to say I'm sorry that I can't. Yeah. I had to work.
That's okay.
Got it, but yeah, hopefully everyone can see me and hear me.
We can.
So for the birthdays, Crystal Crossman, April 27th, Kevin Underhill, April 29th, and Jim Edison on May 6th, and Daria Solka on May 6th. And we have date joined of Rotary. We have Frank Perta, 31 years on May 1st, and Colin Steffens 1 year, May 1st. Congratulations to everybody.
Nicely done. And way to be determined, Natalia, making sure that you collect the, that was amazing. Really well done. Thank you.
Yeah, I tried to work it, but I'm so happy for Rebecca that she texted me and she FaceTimed me so I can still be part of the meeting. So I want to say thank you to Rebecca, and I'm still with you guys.
Very nice. Thank you so much. Well done, Rebecca. Sergeant at Arms, John Carl. I don't know if we have Mark here with us.
No, I think he's still catching up on his sleep from music festival, would be my guess.
No,
yeah, he's having a beauty rest sleep in day. So, all right, first thing I'm going to do this morning, I'm just going to jump into a few quick finds, and then I want to end today with happy bucks. I think we all need to end on a positive note. So I've only got 3 slides to share with you today, and it has everything to do with O Canada. We noticed last week that a lot of people, when O Canada starts, they turn off their cameras or they don't stand for the song. So we're going to go through this, and I'm just going to give a few names of people who owe fines for not paying attention to O Canada, starting with Ash Khan, who was making himself a coffee and cleaning his glasses during O Canada. Doug Campbell turned his camera off. Jerry did not turn her camera off, though it looks like it. Dave Linklater wandered away. Ed Hunt wandered away. Kim, you didn't stand up. Craig, you turned your camera off. Laz, you wandered away. Dan, you wandered away.
My camera's not off.
Hmm?
You can't win with you, John. You either stand off camera or you stand in front of the counter and get a $5 junk fine. Make up your mind, man.
Suck it up, princess. No, same one, sorry. And then we'll just finish it off with this slide. No, it's not the same one. Here we go. So we've got Daria wandered away, Adrian wandered away, and let's hit Jimmy the Greek, Laura, Ann, and Colin, all of you for turning your cameras off. So for O Canada, please leave your cameras on and stand for the song.
I was just behind the camera, John.
There you were.
On the right-hand side, standing up.
Excuses. Oh, excuse me. Now, as a child growing up, one of my favorite time killers was this one series of books. And I sucked at it. I could never find that little bugger, but I finally found Waldo this morning. Can you guys see that? Hold on, my phone.
I think we're fining you $10 for your phone, John.
Yeah, I know. It's ringing. I'll take that fine. But yeah, so Jackie helped me. Thank you for helping me find Waldo. I appreciate it. With that, that's all that I have. So I would like to move over to Happy Bucks from the group today. We need some positivity. Anyone?
I got one. Mark already mentioned it about the meeting we had yesterday. Cindy DeBruin from the city is trying to organize lots of engagement groups to talk about some future ideas for the city. And yesterday was the service clubs. I think she said we invited about 12 to 15. And we had, Mark was there from Rotary. We had the Breakfast Lions were there, the Knights of Columbus, IOD. I think that was it. It was a small group, but I just wanted to give a happy buck that my president showed up for that one and was actually super engaged in the conversation. So my happy buck goes to Mark for showing up. Super proud.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mark's a good man. Jen, what do you got?
I've got 5 happy bucks, and I don't know who's happier, me or Dave Linklater, because we have found a new home and we're going to be moving, and Dave doesn't have to put up with me calling him like I have for the past 4 years saying, can you show me a house? So we're very excited, and we'll be moving sometime this summer.
That's awesome. Congratulations. Who else is happy?
My little girl finally graduated with her degree in police studies, and 9 years in the making because she took one class every semester thanks to the city of Fort Saskatchewan paying her way. But she finally has her degree, and we're so excited. So I got some money for you.
That's fantastic. Wonderful. Ed Heitzman, I saw your hand go up.
I have happy bucks. My daughter's getting her BMW back today after being broke down for about 6 weeks, and she can stop mooching vehicles.
That is awesome. All right, we'll take that one. Who else is happy? Going once? Going, oh, Craig Mellon?
Yeah, I'm getting out of Dodge for the weekend, going to the JPL. So I'll take my,
nice.
Yeah, I'll experience my allergies in another location.
Yeah, it's a hard life there, Charlie Brown. Yeah, well, good for you guys. I know Carol deserves it. Any other final happy bucks?
Sure. I'm just about 24 hours from surviving dry April. So if anyone has any ideas on what I should have on Saturday, holler at me via Slack, and I'll maybe have a sip, because if I have a full drink, I'll probably black out. So that's a happy buck.
That's awesome. And Emery, I was going to fine you actually for losing your man card for watching Bridgerton, but we'll take your happy bucks instead.
Sounds good.
All right, President Mark, with that, I am all done. Thank you very much, everyone.
Awesome. Thanks, John. Much appreciated. We are on social media, if you didn't know, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, and it is powerful if you like and share, because it leverages your network as well as ours. So we've got some messages coming out about the flag program, so keep an eye out for those, and connect on Slack. There's a growing group there and some interesting conversations. Oh yeah, you're simply the best. I want to say thank you to our guest speaker, Heather, Inspirational Moment, Fern, our teacher of the month, Erin, Sergeant at Arms John, Natalia for her determination to be a part of this meeting, birthdays and anniversaries, nicely done. Guests, fellow Rotarians, and if you need support, please reach out. Lynn King is our caring coordinator. She is there. She's doing great things behind the scenes. There are many online resources, and just ask, how can I help? But let's do the four-way test of the things we think, say, and do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Will it be fun?
Will it be fun? Will it be fun?
Thank you, everyone. Have a great Friday, an amazing weekend. Enjoy the weather. Stay safe. Keep doing what you're doing. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Have a good weekend, everybody.
Keep smiling.
Keep smiling.